Hello my friends, we're gonna have another lesson today with the graphic tools and media. And as I told you before in a previous lesson, we're gonna work only with pencils this time. And I have for you suggestion the soft and the hard one with the eraser on the other side, or you can use the mechanical one, which is easier to use too. So what we're gonna do today, we're gonna work on our still life, which is I have behind right now right here, and it's all consists from the dark and light colors. But in the graphic, we're just gonna use the pencil to get the intense color of our shade of black. And I think that it's going to be easier for you to understand that when you do some training, and that training gonna help you to realize how is the pencils to create actually the right shade of color. And last time when we were painting with the black and white colors, I was trying to prepare you to that graphic way to express the intensity of colors. And what we're gonna do today, we're gonna practice first, and then we will start working on our still life. Still life, it's usually something which is created from the different subjects, and it might be draperies also, the different colors draperies. And still life, basically it's explain itself. The whole entire word consists from the still life, which is stay without movement, and that's gonna be anything which is not alive. So it's the subject, not animals, not birds, not flowers, but something still. But you also can have the still life with fruits, for instance, or vegetables, and some flowers. They are alive, but because they already picked as a harvest, they're not alive in a connective kind of to the sources way, but they still alive when you try to kind of keep them alive on your picture. So what we're gonna do for training today, I'm gonna have the paper like this, and I'm gonna use this paper first for our training. And our training will be very simple, but will help you a lot with understanding how the shade of gray created by just a pencil. And I want you to practice first. I will show you what exactly we're gonna do. Practice first just the way how you handle the pencil. I offer you to handle it this way, when your pencil will be between your two fingers like this, and another one will kind of keep it in your hand inside. So that's easier, because if you keep this as your pen when you're writing, that's a kind of limit the movement of the pencil. When you keep it other way, that's gonna help you to actually keep this in your hands in a more professional way. So what we're gonna do, I'm just gonna first show you how to practice with your strokes, because this kind of, imagine this is your brush, but you have a pencil, and actually with pencil you can do strokes too. So I will show you what exactly you have to practice on. So we're gonna do the vertical strokes, just like that, and you can keep them close to each other, or you can make some distance between them. It doesn't matter, it just help you to kind of fix your attention on how you hold your pencil, and get used to that. It's basically like start driving the car. It's a practice. So same thing, we're gonna work on horizontal strokes like that, and we're just gonna use your horizontal strokes the same way. Like imagine you creating the water surface, so that's how we're gonna do it. Or also you can practice with the diagonal strokes, just like that, and that's gonna help you to kind of get used to your pencil, the way how you grip on it. So you can also kind of help your with one of the fingers you can help, or with two of them you can help your pencil to keep it the right way, so it's help you to make the right movement of your pencil. So, and then you can do the diagonal strokes like that, and this is gonna help you to kind of create some shade of the color. And basically if you just do the vertical strokes, you basically can't really see how the color of that tone goes. It's just a light shade. As soon as you start putting the strokes diagonal way and have a little bit more dynamic on your strokes, which is diagonal usually create more dynamics. So you can see that it's actually start getting the particular shade of gray. And if you go from one side and now get to another side, then you can see how intensity of this gray growing, right? Same thing when we for instance gonna work on the horizontal lines. If you actually put your pencil with the strokes close to each other, that's gonna create the more intense shade of gray, right? That's what happens when you kind of put them closer. That's what you can see happening. Same thing with this ones. If you start putting in the middle of this distance between the more strokes of your pencil tone, so you can see how intensity of the colors are getting more bright. And if you go with the more pressure on them, you can see that you can get more dark shade of the gray. And with that dark shade of the gray, if we get some diagonal strokes, it's gonna become even more darker. And if you put them with the light movement of your hand, they become lighter too, just like that. So anything what you want on your picture to be dark actually needs more attention of your pencil. So if you get more pressure on your particular spot you want to get darker, you put as more shades of this gray as you need, and then when you need to go with the lighter shade, you push less on this spot, and you can get less strokes of your pencil on this spot. And that's how your shade of gray become lighter, just like that. And the next exercise, we're gonna do the train, the long train, which is consist from the coaches, the wagons, and we're gonna break them for a few wagons in that. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. We can do 9. So, and then we're gonna create in each of the cell. We're gonna create a little bit darker. So we're gonna go from lighter to the dark shade, and then you will see how it's changed. Depends on how much pressure and more intensity of the gray you put. So we're gonna start from the lightest one and just very easily cover that with your strokes, and that's gonna be very light. And then the next one, I'm gonna put a little bit more intense gray. Maybe just do it twice, same direction, but a little bit more intense. And then for the third one, we're gonna put more intense color here. Cover everything in this rectangle, but we also put some diagonal strokes on there. So cover this from both sides. And if you can see, your shades are become darker. And here we're gonna put even more work on that. And we're gonna cover this from side to side. And we're gonna cover this with vertical strokes. And then we're gonna add a little bit more intensity in that. And just like that, it's become more darker. The next one, we're gonna have intense diagonal stroke and cover the whole rectangle of this train wagon. And then we're gonna do the vertical as the neighbor has. And then we're gonna have the other diagonal one. See, if we do it, our next wagon becomes darker. So, and one more, we're gonna do the same thing. We're gonna do the whole train with the same direction strokes. Then we're gonna do the diagonal. And then we're gonna have another diagonal from one side to another. And then we're gonna go again on the same vertical direction. And then gonna help us to create the darker tone for that. And so next one, we're gonna have the same strokes goes by diagonal. And then we're gonna do the vertical one. And then we're gonna have the other diagonal from other side to another side. And then it's still not enough. So we're gonna go with the vertical, but we just put more pressure on our pencil. And we get more darker color. See now? So then we have the most hardest part. We have to like really make this side very dark. And I'm just gonna go very intense from side to side right here. And then I'm gonna have the diagonal. Diagonal like this. And that's one gonna give us almost the same as here color. So we need to work harder to create the darker shade. So we're gonna go vertical and then again diagonal, and then again diagonal from one side to another right here. And then just like that we created the darkest one. And the dark one will be the last one, which is we're gonna use our pressure, and all the stroke goes from different directions. Very careful. I start with the vertical because it's easier to get your pencil pushed harder vertically. And then we're gonna do the diagonal, very intense. And then I'm gonna have cross diagonal on the other side. And then as much as I could, I will do the other side. and push very hard. And I think that that actually was doable to get the darkest square right here, the rectangle. So we got all the string from the lightest shade, go darker and ended up it was very dark intense shade. So this is gonna be our exercise, which is you guys are safe and have it handy when you work on your graphic work, and you can always use this as the example how intense the color of your dark gray or light gray has to be. So this helps you to see what you need to do to get particular intensity of the gray color on your graphic work. And don't forget that you can use the different directions to create the particular shade. So diagonal, vertical, another diagonal, or crisscross one, so just to get the right intensity. This is it for the practice, and then I will show you on our still life how actually these colors works in your work when you're gonna do the still life. What we're gonna have here the dark shades and the very light. I'm gonna use more lights for you to see shadows and intensity of the color. So what I have here, I have the dark black side over here of the support wall for your still life. I have the white drapery on the side to cover that black, and I actually put this drapery in two kind of different shades, because this is white, a really white one, and this is kind of become a little bit grayer because it's the black side part of the chair color this with the gray a little bit. And then we have the dark gray on the table on that surface, on vertical surface, and we have the dark but shiny subject, which is our vase, and we have the cup, and the cup is white, and the vase is brown. But now we have to see what we can do when we just only have the pencil, and that scale, which is we create here, will help us a lot with kind of breaking this down to particular shades. I can tell you exactly what we're gonna use for the more intense part. It's of course will be the dark side of the chair, and that's gonna be equivalent of this tone, and the white cup, that's gonna be the lightest shade over here, which is gonna be really light, and everything else will be between that, except of course the drapery, but I believe so because the drapery has a lot of shades, and especially here this black side kind of see-through, and the cup has more lights and it's in front of you, so that's gonna be of course the lightest subject on your still life. To start the still life, we're gonna first of all we're gonna have our scale handy. I'm gonna put it next to my still life, and I'm gonna have, like I told you, it's easy to have your album, the whole pad together without taking the paper out, and it's easy to start working on it. And I want you to see what I'm doing as a sketch for our still life. So I'm gonna show you how I'm gonna start. So first of all, when you start the still life, you kind of analyze how you gonna break it by the shade, and I recommend you to have the sketch in the left corner of your picture, and that's gonna be just a small sketch right like this. So on this sketch, what I'm gonna do, I'm just gonna see what do I have here, and what particular shades I can have on my still life. So I just have the rectangle little corners here, and what I'm gonna do first, I'm gonna put the horizon line, because the horizon line help us to find the right spot for our subject on the still life. And first of all, I need to decide it where will be my waist compared with the center of my picture. So I'm kind of visually divide this for two parts, just like that. And I will see that my waist belong to this left side. So, and also it's important which subject is farther. So here you can see that the cup is closer to us and the vase is farther. So what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna put another line here, which is gonna help us to see where exactly our subjects are. So we're gonna put this one on the side right here, and the cup will be closer to us, and that's gonna be, I put it a little bit on the side so that they don't connect, so you guys don't need to do that connection. It's not that easy to do. So I'm gonna separate them. So this is our waist and this is our cup. Also, it's important to find the right proportions, and the right proportions, what's gonna help you to find the right proportion, it's visually, you have your pencil and you kind of put it on the side and find on your pencil how much the length and the width of the subject will be. So we have this waist just like that, and we're gonna find out how big this waist, how long is that, and then compare this with the size of the cap, and that's become like almost 1/3, a little bit bigger than 1/3. So that's what they're gonna do. So that's gonna be my cup and that's gonna be my waist here. So and I find the right spot, because this two lane, one lane right here and another one here, will help us to find where our subject are. And then it's always easy to have the symmetrical line in the middle. So we're gonna have this for our cup and we're gonna have this for our waist, just like that. We'll figure it out, start figuring out what are gonna be the lighter and what's gonna be darker after when we find the lines for our drapery on the back. So this is our sketch, and then I'm gonna kind of see what's gonna be darker. I will start with the darkest part right here, which is gonna be, of course, our drapery, the side of the chair, which is really dark. So the side of the chair, and here we also have a little bit of this white drapery hanging right there. So we're gonna have our table. And the dark gray drapery and waist. And the waist is dark too, but it's shining because it has a different kind of surface. So I will have this here, and the cup is here, and the drapery is hanging on the side of the chair, and it's very light. So basically what I really need to do, I need to get my side of the chair in very, very dark shades on that black color, just like that. And then I will have this dark gray, pretty dark too. But because this fabric is kind of shiny, it's not gonna be that dark as the side of the chair. So then I don't have to really make it really dark. So this gonna be dark, but dark enough. So in this lace will be shiny and pretty dark too. So this is our vase, and this is our cup. The cup is very light, and then here will be very, very light shade of gray, and the rest of it will be very light, so I'm not gonna worry about this too much. So this is your little sketch, which will help you to see how the shades of this dark colors are compare to the light colors layout, and that little sketch will help you to work on your main work, right? So that's going to be your paper for the drawing, and you have your little sketch in the corner. You have your practice exercise with the scale of the darkness of the gray, and this is going to be your support materials for your drawing. And then when we put our subject in the particular comparison, how they're gonna compare to each other, how lighter and darker they will be, we can start our work. And I recommend you start with the horizon line, and you always look very carefully on your still life, which is you put for yourself, and try to find where's the horizon line will be. So how to find this? You have to compare how big the back the chair, or you can put some, even the book will work. So I can put the big book, the big size book album, like photo album behind, and you can use any chair for your still life, and then you will see how the parts of your work compare to each other. So we will start with the table right here. It's gonna be like, basically it's gonna be 1/3 of your work, because that's how much room you need for your two subjects to put them on the table here and have enough space for them. So then we're gonna have we can break our picture on two sides here too, just to see which side gonna have what, where it's gonna be the vase and where it's gonna be your cup. So this is gonna be your vase here, and as we were talking, that it's kind of longer than the cup, almost like the cup is 1/3 of this vase. And here, if you remember, we were kind of drawing the line to see where the subjects are. So this is for the cup, and the cup, it's kind of lie out on a horizon line. So we're gonna use this for the cup, and that's gonna be our vase right here. And also, as I offer to you to have the, for symmetrical issue, we can have the line in the middle, so that's gonna help us to have the symmetrical sides of your waist. Same thing with the cup, because cup has the kind of looks like trapeze shape, and I will use this line to have the middle of it. And then, because the objects are not exactly on the horizon line for you, then you're not gonna see what's inside. But because as of kind of low you get your cup compared with the horizon line on your eyes level, it's more inside of this cup you see. And that's how basically we will see a little bit of the inside of this cup surface. So in here, that's going to be the end of the cup, the bottom of it, and we also have the handle right here, the way how we have this cup in our hands. So you might have the different cup, it might have the emptiness in the middle, so but I have this one, which is easier to draw actually. So this is my cup, and this is my waist, and I also need to get the part of our drapery which just has the lighter shade right here and here, a little bit on the side, will be the darker part, and that's gonna go this direction from here. So kind of light drapery, and that's the table right here, right? So what we have our waist, we have a cup, and we have the horizon line right here, and where the drapery will be, and that's the table. And so as the waist ending, it has a little knob over here for the flower. You might have the different ways. You can use the bottle if you want. You just need something shiny, and that's gonna help us to have the variety of different surfaces for our work. So this is how I want you to leave your work for our next lesson, because in the next lesson we're gonna talk about how to create the right color comparison, the shades of this gray of our pencil drawing. It's gonna be from the dark gray to the light gray, which is will represent the white cup and the drapery, and the gray, darker gray for the surface here, and the very dark for the side of the chair, and the shiny dark for the waist, and white for the cup. And just for the next time, when we will have our other lesson, we will start with this still life, and we will start from the darkest part of our still life. Thank you for listening, and see you next time.